That is out of control, guys. Out of control. Friends, check out this beautiful basket of common ink cap mushrooms. This is Coprinopsis atramenteria, the tippler's bane, the common ink cap, or the alcohol inky, and I want to tell you a little bit about it. I love this mushroom. I eat it frequently, but I don't do a whole lot of drinking. There is a compound contained in this mushroom, specifically Coprinopsis atramenteria, that does not sit well with alcohol. If you consume these mushrooms, even if you cook them thoroughly, etc., and then you have a glass of wine with dinner, prepare for an ugly ride. Now, that compound that I'm talking about, it's called coprine, and it is the exact same molecule found in a drug that doctors give to alcoholics to help them stop drinking, okay? You ever heard of antabuse? Antabuse is derived from that compound found in these mushrooms. So I guess you could understand why some field guides and even online resources list this as a toxic mushroom. It's not a toxic mushroom. It's only toxic or poisonous in conjunction with alcohol. As long as you're not consuming alcohol, and this is really conservative to be on the safe side, 3 days before and 3 days after you're going to be consuming this mushroom, you got nothing to worry about. I don't drink a whole lot. When I was a younger guy, I partied like crazy, and still if the mood hits me just right, I'll rip it down with you. But generally, I don't consume a lot of alcohol. If you're a frequent consumer of alcohol, you might want to skip this one. So that's the PSA for these little bastards. Let's talk edibility. First of all, they're called ink caps. Why do we call them that? Okay, I'm going to zoom in on those gills for you. See those nice black gills? All I got to do is rub my thumb on there a little bit and check out that inky black substance that's left on my thumb. In terms of edibility, when they're this mature and they start exhibiting this behavior, this guy is not long for the world and he needs to be consumed very quickly. Usually within about 24 hours of picking this mushroom, they're going to start going bad on you. Their habit is a process known as deliquescing. They're going to sort of break down into an inky black mess. Yes, they auto-digest themselves. It's a method of spore dispersal that are unique to this genus of mushrooms and related mushrooms. But anyway, they go into really like an inky black mess and lose their nice firm texture super, super quickly. So I like to pick them when they're smaller. This example that I showed you before, that one was actually probably just a little bit too big to pick. You can tell it's starting to let go. It's getting frilly on the edges, and there's a lot of that black ink from handling it. If you can get that right in the pan, that's great. There's nothing wrong with eating a mushroom that's inking out like that. It's not toxic, so there's nothing to worry about there, but it's not going to be in a firm state like this that you could even eat for very long. So I prefer picking them like this when they're little, when they're in their button form. See this little cluster here? That's like, these are super prime, bro. I love eating them when they're tight and firm and little like that. And you can tell just by the way they feel under your thumb, they should feel sort of springy and fresh. And just for you guys, I'm actually going to do a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to clean these up a little. I'm going to throw them in my fridge, and then we'll think about maybe eating them tomorrow for lunch. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. I just saw them in this really, really excellent shape and wanted to eat them because, again, I really do like them. But let me clean them up. We'll get them in a paper bag. We'll put them in the fridge and see how they do till tomorrow. Haha, how you like them mushrooms? Now, you can eat the stipe or stem of these mushrooms. They're perfectly fine. I find them a little stringy. I'm getting rid of them just because I have a whole bunch here and they're in such firm, nice shape. But now these are going to go in the bag. And let's see what happens. Let's compare them. I want you to have a real good look at the shape they're in right now. And let's see how they do tomorrow, say lunchtime or maybe even dinner time. Let's get them in. Gentle. These are very delicate mushrooms, so we're being very careful when we're putting them in the paper bag. And this is just a good general note on mushrooms that you're storing in a refrigerator. Put them in a paper bag, okay? Do not use a plastic bag. You don't want to see any mushroom that's been in a plastic bag for too long. This guy has a little airflow and breathes, and the mushrooms will be in much better shape when you pull them out whenever you're going to cook them. Bonus tip for you. These things grow on a dead wood substrate. I've taken all the little offcuts and bits that I'm not going to be eating and put them on this dead log just kind of out back of my garage.
And this is kind of like a habit that I have every once in a while. I'll take some offcuts from mushrooms, put them with the tree species that they associate with, or at least give them the substrate they like, and see if they pop. And it works successfully pretty often. So who knows, maybe in a year or two's time, I'm going to have ink caps right out back in my garage.
All right, so moment of truth. It's been more than 24 hours, like well more than 24 hours. Let's see how the Coprinopsis did in the fridge in that bag all that time. Now, you can see I got plans for him. We're getting to that in a second, but hold on, buddy. Let's have a look. Oh, I got some wine caps in there. First of all, these are out of the garden. These don't count, okay? Separate issue. Let's check out the Coprinopsis situation. Did you make it, guys? Yeah, they did. Oh, they look good. Yeah, they look pretty good. I see a little bit of deliquescence on a couple of them, but I think back in there's some that look pretty freaking good in there. Yeah, they actually look really good, surprisingly, especially those little guys. Look, they look amazing. So as you might have guessed, I'm going to be making a venison ink cap cheeseburger with fresh homegrown tomatoes. But first, I'm going to get some home fries going. Check out these beauties. These came out of the ground, out of the garden just a few days ago. They're already washed, prepped, ready to go. Just got to hack them up. Beautiful. Almost went a little overboard with the pomme de terres there, but those guys are going right in the casty with some leftover oil that I had from the other day. That'll be perfectly good for this. So just give me a second. Look at that beautiful oil starting to crawl into casty, and it's time for these guys to go in there. And was I right about the number of potatoes required? Like, do I know this casty like the back of my hand? Because you don't want to overcrowd it, right? You want to fry them, not steam them. A little salt in there right off the hop. First flip, and those little sumbitches are already looking beautiful. And while those little beauties are sauteing, we got to hack these little ink caps up a little bit. I want to flatten them out just a little tiny bit like that so that, they fry up a little better. You got to cook these things really, really thoroughly. And I just want to make this note again. You see the deliquescence that's happening on that guy already? That's perfectly fine to eat. It's just a texture thing, and once you fry it up, I find it doesn't make any difference at all. But anyway, let's focus on the nice, young, firm ones, man. Oh, yeah. I'm liking the look of that. Look at these beauties. If you've never had these, they're so freaking good. And these things will fry down pretty small, actually. You lose a lot of volume, so you know what? I think I'm going to fry all of these just for the halibut, buddy. All right, and look at all this ink coming off, man. Those are looking amazing. But I think our little guys need a flip here. These are very, very close to done. I've actually turned down the heat. Oh, yeah, they are golden brown and perfect. Those need like another minute or two. Oh, and then I'm going to drain that oil because I don't need all that for the burger. That's crazy. Oh, my God, I splashed that oil everywhere. It's all over the floor. It's all slippery in here. Gotta get right on that. Gonna go ass over tea kettle. Fries out. Pan drained, and I've left a little bit of that olive oil in the pan to keep this butter from burning. Okay, that guy's going in, and I better turn that heat down a little. That looks a little hot, but it's almost time for mushrooms, man. In they go. Come on, little buddies. Let's see what happens. Look at that board, man. That's a lot of ink. I'm really excited to see how these guys hold up. A little salt and pepper those shrooms. Woo, they smell amazing. They're breaking down a little bit, but I don't think they're gonna go all the way. It looks perfect. And I want to make sure to double down on the facts on this particular species, Coprinopsis atramenteria, the common ink cap mushroom. You cannot consume alcohol with this. It contains coprine. You'll get really, really sick. So I haven't had a drink for 3 days before, and I will abstain from alcohol for 3 days after eating this burger, okay? You do the same if you're eating them at home. Look at that cutting board. Oh my God, last flip, and I wish you could smell these butter and those mushrooms are gonna be a hell of a combo on that burger. And those are done, son. They're going off to the side, and we're cooking that burger. Woohoo, we're getting close. It's time to make a patty. And I'm talking about a fatty boombalatti with this ground venison. Homemade, and this is just FYI, this is 100% grass-fed beef fat that this venison meat is mixed with, and it's freaking tasty. All right, ladies and gents, I'm sure most of you have made a burger from scratch, but if you haven't, don't forget,
Make it wider than the bun is because, you know, it's going to contract a little bit when you cook it. And also, please, for the love of sweet baby Jesus and all that is good and holy, do not use binders and egg and all this nonsense into meat. You don't need it. Treat a burger just like a steak. You're going to see it's going to be salt, pep in the pan. All the other flavors come from the toppings. Just a little salt and pep. That's all you need. Like I said, just like a steak, okay? Don't go crazy. Beautiful. And that pan is hot and smoking, and it's go time. And while that burger's cooking, I'm gonna do a few slices of that delicious homegrown tomato. Cheese at the ready. Come on, mama. Am I right? Just about ready for her first flip. Let's see if she's ready to give up the ghost. Oh yeah, she's gonna go. Beautiful. Got one little crack there, but that's okay. We'll try and fix it, and if not, don't care. While she's finishing up, let's chuck a bun in there, right? Toast her up a little tiny bit. Now, I don't know about you, but I like a fairly rare burger. We'll get this to like sort of medium rare, but watch this. When I press down on that, you see all that blood coming out? That means it's time for it to come out. Not time to leave it, unless you like a well-done burger, and then, you know, you're just on the wrong side of history. See how our bun's doing? Oh yeah, that looks fine. Ooh, it's crispy. I like it. I like what I'm seeing. That guy can stay one more minute while I pull that one out. Buns are out, but we almost forgot one of the most important ingredients, the cheese. Let's melt that cheese on there. The steam from this lid will melt that stuff on there like a champ. Look, it's already steaming up. Not much more than a minute or two to have a look at that. Tell me you don't want to get into some of that. Let's get her onto the bun. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, it's getting there. Oh my God, that fan's driving me crazy. Mushrooms, tell me you don't want a whole bunch of ink cap mushrooms right up on top of that cheese. Slice of homegrown tomato, maybe 2. 1.5 was the exact right amount. Toasty, toasty bun right up on top. Or is it, not quite yet, hold on. Bunch of ketchup on the fries, some roasted garlic aioli and mayo on the bun, a little bit of homemade dressing on the salad, and that's dinner. And the star of the show, look at that thing. Oh my. And I'm freaking starving. Woo! Look at that thing, oh my God, that's gonna be good. That is out of control, guys. Out of control.